So in today's video, I am celebrating hitting a few YouTube milestones. I have officially hit 6 months of being a new YouTuber. I've hit one of my first milestones of hitting 2,000 watch hours, and I've hit another first milestone of 500 subscribers. And the first thing I want to do is express gratitude. I'm so thankful for my journey so far, and I couldn't have done it without you guys. And I also want to congratulate myself because if you've watched any of my content, there's some videos going back and explaining that I never really saw myself doing YouTube or making YouTube videos. So just congratulating myself for putting in the work, for showing up, for being consistent. So in today's video, we're going to talk about how I hit these milestones. I'll share some very novice tips. I'll talk a little bit about how I plan to celebrate, and I'll give you guys some of the scoop on what's next for my channel. But where are my manners? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Dr. Knox. I am a DNP here in the SoCal area, and I just want to say thank you for watching today's video. If you're new here, hi, it's nice to meet you. If you're returning, welcome back. If you are new here, drop me a comment below and say hello. And if I have any fellow new YouTubers, also say hello. Let's connect in the comments. Okay, so let's get right to it. But first, I think a disclaimer is necessary. It is important to note and give this disclaimer that I am a very new YouTuber. I am very green in a lot of areas. As you can tell by this title, I am only 6 months into my YouTube journey. My insights and my perspectives are biased because I am new to the game, and it's very biased based off of my particular experience here on the platform. So this is not advice. I'm going to say that again. This is not advice. This is my perspective, my journey, my insights. And I think that even though I am a beginner, I think that some of this may be beneficial to you. These are my current thoughts. And to be very honest, they'll likely change and evolve over time, over the next 6 months, over the next year, and however long this journey continues. So do with that what you may. I do think that it's important to document this journey, not only for myself, but also for transparency on how different channels grow and evolve over time, because not everybody's going to be an overnight success, and that is okay. All right, enough of that. Let's get to it. So how did I personally get to 2,000 watch hours in approximately 6 months? And just a side note, I'm not sure how well versed everyone is that's watching this video, so this may be helpful, it may not be helpful, but 2,000 watch hours is not the same thing as 2,000 views. So just putting that out there. Another little tidbit of information is that I am referring to my long form content. This does not include my YouTube Shorts views. Have you ever heard an experienced YouTuber say something along the lines of, all it takes is just one video that can change your channel? That seems to have rung true for me in this instance. That's actually a big part of how I got to 2,000 watch hours in 6 months. I have this one video in particular that is doing very well and is still gaining traction 4 months in. This video has 14,000 views and climbing. And this is another video that did surprisingly well, unexpectedly. I put this video out very last minute. So one of the challenges that I put for myself on my platform, on this YouTube platform, is that I want to release a new long form content video once per week on Mondays. And one Sunday I had nothing recorded, and I think I got sick or something threw off my recording schedule, and I had nothing. So I quickly threw together a video about how I make my son's oatmeal muffins, and that video did surprisingly well. I thought that it was going to tank, that it wasn't going to get any views, but being consistent with posting on Mondays was more important than having a video that didn't do well. At least at that time. But this video got over 2,300 views. I never expected that so many people would be interested in these two videos. I'll link them below in the description box so you can check them out. Maybe you guys can gain some insight from the type of content that I produced. The one that I did put some effort into that I still didn't think many people would be interested in. And then also the cooking one, which was actually my first cooking video here on the platform. So while I am shocked, I am grateful, and I know that those two videos in particular helped me get to my 2,000 watch hours. How did I get 500 subscribers in 6 months? I honestly didn't have that much of a strategy, and that is something that I want to work on going into the next 6 months of my YouTube journey. One thing that I did do was tell my family, my friends, some of my colleagues, not too many, they don't need to be in my business like that, and also my Instagram followers. I did post that I created a YouTube channel, and I do often share sometimes that I've uploaded a new video. Now with that, there's never any reliance on them to actually become subscribers, but I think it did help initially in the beginning. The method with that was simply let people gain the awareness that I am creating something so that they can check it out. And if they feel inclined to subscribe and follow along the journey, then so be it. I do want to grow my channel organically and authentically. So that's really important to me. And if I'm being really honest, the video that has done the best, the one about my detox journey, I know that that has gotten me a lot of subscribers too. So as I referenced before, it really can just be one video that does really well that can start to change the trajectory of your channel. You don't want to rely on just one video. You want to continue to put out good content because it's not sustainable in the long run. And honestly, lastly but not least, I do believe that my consistent posting schedule has helped me to gain subscribers as well. As a very new YouTuber, what tips or insights do I have for other people who are beginner YouTubers or people who are contemplating or have made the decision that they do want to start a YouTube channel but haven't actually started yet? I think this is a very interesting question, and I'm sure if you ask several YouTubers, you'll probably get a little bit of variety in your answer. So before I give the 4 things, I think 4 things really stand out to me right now. If you are a new YouTuber, if you're new here on Instagram, or even if you're seasoned, if you have tips for new YouTubers, drop them down below in the comments so we all can use this as a space to learn and grow our channels. So for me, I guess the biggest tip or advice, suggestion that I would give for somebody who has made the decision that they want to start and maybe hasn't started yet is to, and this, I don't know if I've ever seen anybody recommend this. I haven't watched a lot of these type of videos, but for me, it would be to create 3 videos. I think a lot of times people want to create content, or they have the idea that I'm going to create content, and it's very hard for them to create the first video, to script the first video, to edit the first video, and to upload the first video. So my advice, my suggestion is to create 3 YouTube videos before posting anything to your YouTube channel. That's the key. You can always upload it as unlisted so that nobody can see it. And I recommend this so much because you learn so many micro lessons in just the process of doing those things. The process of scripting, if that's applicable to the type of channel that you're going to have. The process of recording, the process of editing, the process of uploading. There's so much to learn in just doing that. And I think sometimes it's underrated, or maybe people don't talk about it enough. But there are a lot of challenges that you're going to come across in just that process itself. And so I think with creating 3 videos, it kind of gives you a taste of what's to come, so that you can even decide, do I really want to do this? Let me see how much work is actually involved. And then if you do decide that, hey, I like it, I want to pursue it, you have a kind of a backflow of content. You have some content already prepared so that you can post consistently. I personally did not know how much time editing would take. As somebody who's new to YouTube, new to speaking on camera, there are a lot of retakes, a lot of mistakes when speaking that you have to go back and edit out and all of those different things. Also, I think uploading sometimes can take a long time, and that wasn't something that I expected. Coming up with titles sometimes can be tricky because you want to have good SEO so that people can find your videos and watch them. There's just so much to learn, from figuring out which type of editing software or platform you're going to use, to figuring out what type of lighting equipment, if any, that you'll need. And recording at different times of the day can affect your lighting. How I set up my lighting when I'm shooting here in my living room versus how I set up my lighting when I am recording content in my kitchen is different. The lighting does vary, and so I have to take into account those things. When it comes to editing, learning how to mute certain parts, learning how to add text onto the screen, learning how to do music and video on video overlays, all of those things, it's a learning process, but I've learned so much through doing it. And y'all, I remember one time I recorded a video. I'm sitting, I'm talking, I'm recording. Great. I felt like it was great. It was actually for the video that has the most views. I recorded a good chunk of that, and I typically don't record and edit in the same day. Typically, maybe not even in the same week. So I recorded this content, and a week later I came back to edit it and realized that there was no sound. Either my lapel mic or something was going on where I had no sound. I was just talking mute. I was so frustrated. I had to quickly throw something on and record at nighttime, which is not something that I typically do. And instead of being super frustrated, I'm like, this is part of the journey. This is part of the learning process. So now I know to make sure that everything is charged up the night before. I know how, when I'm recording now, there's something that I can look at to make sure that the microphone is working so that I don't run into that problem again. So my point is, just start recording, because it's not you recording and then you upload. There's a lot of micro lessons in between. And I think by just starting, you start to get a feel of how things will be. The second suggestion that comes up for me is to keep a running list of ideas. I also think people can underestimate how much content you need to put out, even if you're only doing it on a weekly basis. Coming up with different topics that will keep your audience engaged can be cumbersome sometimes. And so while I have good brainstorming sessions, I have a tab in Notion with just ideas for long form content. I have ideas for titles. I have ideas for thumbnails, all of the things. I keep a running list of different ideas. Sometimes I'm out and about and I'm like, oh, this will be a good thing to talk about, or oh, this is a good thing that my audience may want to engage with. So I definitely recommend that. So whenever I'm feeling like I'm in sort of a creative rut, I can always reference that to help get my creative juices flowing. And I also want to add here that depending on your niche, looking at the calendar can give you some good content ideas, because there are some really good calendar specific topics that you can start to brainstorm. For instance, if you have a food channel, in the summertime, you can have a recipe on homemade DIY popsicles. If your channel is about cars, let's say race cars to be specific, you can look in the calendar and see different racing events that are going on and plan content around that. So that's another suggestion. Number 3 is that batch work is important. At least for me, it has helped. And keyword is I try to batch create content. It's not a perfect science for me, but I'm a work in progress. So for me, I like to batch script out content, I like to batch record content, and I like to batch edit content. So essentially for me, that typically means doing videos 2 or 3 at a time. I'd love to get into a space where I can batch create content and have a lot of things done so that for the month, everything's recorded and I'm just working on editing and putting things out. So I'm still finding my flow with that, but batch content creating has been a lifesaver. And as I batch script content, I actually think about titles, what should go in the thumbnail, what should go in the description box, etc., etc. I think maximizing and being efficient in this area is key, but like I said, I am new, so we'll see. I am curious if anyone watching does not batch create content, what is your flow like? And do you find that it's helpful? And lastly, I do believe that the 2 C's are essential. The first C is consistency. I see some new YouTubers create a video, post it, upload it, and then I don't see anything from them for a month or 2. And then you'll see some people post, 2 videos consecutively, and then they're gone for 3 months, and then they post again. I think that, and this is just my personal thoughts, I'm not sure how accurate it is when it comes to YouTube and its platform and algorithm, but I do think that consistency helps the algorithm and your subscribers to stay engaged. And I think that that's important, especially in the beginning as you're trying to establish yourself and establish trust and rapport with your audience. The second C is for comparison. Don't do it. It's so easy to look at other channels that may have started around the same time that you have, that are growing at a faster and more rapid rate than you are. It's so easy to compare the video that you know you've put so much effort and work in, only get a few views when somebody may be posting what you consider to be very random and it's doing very well. But this is not a race. You are only competing against yourself. You need to know your goals, you need to know your why, and you need to take action. And I guess my suggestion would be to take it month by month. Look back at previous months, previous pieces of content that did well. See if you can find a common thread that kept the audience engaged or maybe got it more views. Was the wording in your thumbnail something that was really good? When we talk about things like search engine optimization, is that something that you're paying attention to? Are your thumbnails engaging and inviting? Every month there's an opportunity. Every piece of content, there's an opportunity to improve and get a little bit better. For me, I've been trying to figure out what type of thumbnail style I want to stick with, so you can even see some evolution in just my thumbnail since I've started. I think I found something that I like, but I'm continuing to tweak it and play around with it. Another thing that you can do pertaining to this point is to join a YouTube community of other people who are trying to grow their channel, someone you can talk to about it, because sometimes we're starting a YouTube channel, we don't know anybody else personally that we can reach out to for advice, suggestions, insights. And so joining a community through like Facebook, the community that I'm a part of is on Facebook, and people post there multiple times per day asking questions, sharing their content, getting feedback on should I use thumbnail A or should I use thumbnail B? So there are resources out there that are free that are at your disposal. So I would definitely tap in and try to utilize some of those things. The biggest thing is don't give more time to complaining and looking at what other people are doing. Take that time and put it into your work, put it into your craft, put it into your art, put it into your channel. It's a process, and it's a process that I am still learning myself. I'm learning and growing and not taking anything personally. Keep putting one foot in front of the other. That's my little 2 cents, okay? But what do you guys think are some other good tips for people who are new to their journey or contemplating starting the journey? So let's talk about celebration. For you guys that are fellow YouTubers, when you reach certain milestones, do you celebrate them? If so, what are some things that you've done to celebrate in the past? For me, in growing through life, through therapy, I've realized that there ain't nothing too little to celebrate. Me in the past would not have said the same thing. So I think that that is growth on my end. So for this, even though it is a small milestone, it is a milestone worth celebrating. And guess what? I plan to treat myself to a 90-minute massage, 90 minutes of bliss. I used to get massages pretty regularly, but honestly, now that I think about it, I don't think I've had a massage this entire year. So this is something that is a treat for me, something that is well-deserved. And to be honest, I'm probably going to fall asleep. So yeah, that's where you can find me, celebrating at the spa, getting a magnificent massage. I like, in particular, Thai massages where the ladies walk on your back. Oh my gosh. I'm excited just thinking about it. So if you want to cash at me and contribute to the festivities, no, I'm just kidding. But if you want to, I'm not going to turn it away. So I will put my little handle here on the screen. And last but not least, what is next for my channel? To be very brief, more content. I want to focus on consistently posting, continuing to enjoy the content that I create, and building a community here. 6 months honestly flew by, and I'm certain that the next 6 months is going to fly by. I already can feel that December is going to be here so quickly. So with that being said, if there's any content that you'd like to see from me here on my channel as it pertains to healthier living, let me know. Drop me a comment down below. Or if there's any areas regarding healthier living that you've been struggling with that I can maybe give some insights and some tips and some advice, suggestions, and things of that nature on, definitely drop me a comment below as well. I will take all of it into consideration. As always, thank you so much for watching this video. If I left anything out, if there's anything you want to add to the conversation, feel free to do so below. I would love to engage with you. And if you're still here, if you've made it this far, feel free to like this video. It really does help me as a new YouTuber grow. And of course, subscribe to my channel and share it with someone you know. You can find me over on Instagram as well. I will link my page here on the screen. Feel free to give me a follow over there and check out some of the content that I put out. Thanks again, and until the next video. Hey y'all, so I'm adding a quick little addendum, a new ending to this video, because as you can tell, this video was meant to be uploaded at the 6-month mark back in June, and it is now September and it's being uploaded. And I have had some new information that I want to share with you all that I think is really important to add. I think it's so important to be honest and be transparent here on YouTube about my journey as a YouTube creator and on this platform. And so I just wanted to share with you all that I took a break. I took an unplanned break. I had a lot of out-of-town guests come in to visit me here in California, which is typically what happens during the summertime because our weather is so amazing. I fully intended to continue creating content when I could squeeze it in here and there, and editing videos here and there where I could squeeze it in, but that's not how things panned out. So I ended up taking a break, and it was beautiful. And guess what? My channel still grew. And it's so strange because I had a plan. I had this detailed plan on how I would continue to dedicate time to being consistent here on this platform, especially since I just talked about the importance of consistency. So I had this game plan in my head, and life didn't agree with the plan that I had in my head. And then after all of my guests had come and gone and come and gone and come and gone, and the last guest had left, I needed a second. I needed to give myself a second to reacclimate to what my normal routine was. Has that ever happened to you? You have this game plan. Life is supposed to look like this. You have it. You can see it. You can visualize it. You think this is a solid game plan. I'm not going to let things slip this time. And life does its thing and pulls you in a different direction. It happens to all of us. It is part of life. So I think it's important to not fight it so much, but I think it's important to have a re-entry game plan. So in those moments when my guests were here, when they were here visiting me, spending time with me, I ultimately had a decision to make. And I ended up choosing to be fully present with my guests without guilt. I think that was the most important part for me, because in the beginning, the first guest came and left, and I was like, I didn't do what I said I was going to do. I didn't stick to the game plan. And I was being a little bit tough on myself. And the second guest came, and I think by the time the third guest came, the second and third guests kind of overlapped. By the time they came and their time periods overlapped, I really decided, you know what? I'm not going to have this sense of tension and fighting against myself and, just this negative energy inside of me. I am going to fully be present without any guilt. I'm going to let my hair down and I'm going to have fun. And I did just that. I got an amazing tan. I frolicked in the sun and on the beach and in the ocean and in the pool. I ate really good food, and most importantly, I created some beautiful memories with people that I love. Most of my guests came to visit me from Texas. Shout out to Naima. And it was amazing. It was amazing just creating beautiful memories and being able to just connect, talk to them, do some of the simple things with them. And for me, that took priority over creating content. But as I mentioned before, my channel here on YouTube still grew. So let's get into some of the numbers. And just for transparency, I did post about 6 YouTube shorts, but most of my traction doesn't come from YouTube shorts. So yeah, just wanted to throw that in there. Back to the numbers. So sometime in June, I hit 500 subscribers and 2,000 watch hours. And currently, at the time of me recording this video, as I'm talking to you right now recording, I have 666 subscribers and 3,326 watch hours. That's an increase of 166 more subscribers since I've taken my break, and over 1,300 watch hours since I've taken my break. And I smile when I say those numbers because, I don't know, for me, I really did believe that if I took a break, my channel growth would halt, and that has not been the case for me. Now, I am very well aware that that will not be everybody's story or everybody's experience. But the point that I want to illustrate is that it is okay to take a break, whether you grow or you don't grow. What you have to understand what your priorities are, what's happening in that season of your life, and give yourself the flexibility to pivot and to change, whether it's planned or unplanned. And you don't need to beat yourself up about it. But you do need to find your way back to creating again. I'm not going to lie. Sitting here for the first time in 2 months recording content, it took me a minute to kind of just pick myself back up and get in the mode of creating again. Even setting up my lights, I don't know, there was a sense of like nervousness, like, do I know how to ride a bike again? And it is like riding a bike. The muscle memory has kicked back in, and it's reminding me why I enjoy doing it in the first place. And for me, I think it's important to note that I am very clear on parts of my why in life in general. And so it allows me to continue to show up here on YouTube with a sense of passion and with my fuel tank kind of refilled. So here I am, recording again and full of energy to keep it going. I really hope this video helps to inspire you to keep going, to keep putting your best foot forward, and to continue to give yourself a little bit of grace. As always, if you have any constructive feedback, any helpful hints, if you found yourself in this period of time before, whether you're still stuck and not creating or you found yourself on the other side of it, drop some comments down below to help other people out that may be in the same situation. So you know what to do. Drop a comment down below. Until the next video.